I'm Frank.
And I am Mark.
This is the #1 podcast in the world for 7 whole people. Welcome back to My Brother's an Idiot and My Dog Has a Squeaky Toy. Sweet fucking Christmas. Like you waited for us to push the button, then he runs upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, Rocky. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, hey, fellas, what's going on?
What's happening? What's happening?
Not much this week, honestly.
Too much this week, honestly.
Yeah,
Well, this weekend, yeah.
The things. Yeah.
All the things.
This is the last Thursday before football for the rest of the year through February. So we've got that going for us, which is nice.
That's true. Even though it's preseason, we got
hey, it's football.
NFL football next week on Thursday.
Yeah, it's that Hall of Fame game is literally the worst game of the year. It's just trash because nobody plays in it, and it's an awful field, and people always get hurt, and the field's just garbage. But it's still football.
And none of those teams have played together for more than like 4 days.
Right? They don't even start hitting until Sunday.
Right.
Although I think those two teams reported earlier because they do have to play.
They reported a week early. Yeah.
Yeah. So still, whatever. It's football. We're almost there. We're getting there.
Foosball.
It's on the way.
Foosball.
The foosball is coming. Well, we've got a jam-packed agenda for you, and we will get right into it. We're going to play Two Truths and a Lie, the King Goon Sports Take Edition. I've got 5 categories, each of them containing my own personal opinions, reflecting nothing at all, and they're my opinions of the moment. They're subject to change even tomorrow. This is how I feel right now. 2 of them are two fine gentlemen are going to need to determine which is which. Y'all ready?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's hit it.
All right. The first category is third best. Third best. The first take is Jake Plummer is the third best quarterback in Broncos history. Peter Forsberg is the third greatest Avalanche ever. Carmelo Anthony is the third greatest Nugget of all time.
Oof.
2 truths and a lie. Tank, what say you?
God, I mean, I'm going to have to go with the Plumber one. That sounds weird to me because I can think of 3 without trying better than him. So I'm going to go with Plumber.
Mark?
I absolutely think Jake Plummer is your third favorite Broncos quarterback. We've seen games with Plummer, and I know how you feel about the man. So I'm leaving Jake Plummer right where he is. I'm going to say Carmelo's probably not in the top 3 for you. I'm going to say the Carmelo Anthony one. I'm probably wrong about that, but I'm going to say Carmelo Anthony is too high on that list.
One of you is absolutely correct.
I'm going to guess it's him.
Jake Plummer is the third best quarterback to ever wear a Broncos uniform.
We've talked about this, so I know that for a fact.
Honestly, I don't know that one.
Hey,
that's another conversation, but
right, a whole other conversation. Just my opinion. As the current standings are, Peter Forsberg is the third greatest Avalanche of all time. I think when it's all said and done, he'll be number 5 behind Cale and Nate. Carmelo Anthony is number 4. I think it's Joker, Alex English, and David Thompson, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's kind of where I thought you were going with that too.
Right?
And plus, you could then take a shot at Carmelo Anthony, which is kind of your new try to get, shoehorn into the episode Carmelo Anthony hatred. So I thought that's kind of where you were going. With that.
Top 4 all time in a franchise. That's pretty good. I'm giving the man his credit. I have my issues with the way he's comported himself the last 12 months, but whatever. It's all good. Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely not in favor around here in Denver like one G Mingo usually is.
Oh, 5 out of 5. That's outstanding. And it's not even
stuck
5
the
minutes
landing.
in. You stuck that landing.
Stuck the
Holy
landing.
Shit. I am in awe. I am in awe. Wow.
Carry on.
I don't even carrying on. All right. The next category is GOATs, and not the greatest of all time. GOATs.
Oh.
Actual goats?
Well, these are people we might consider as a GOAT. People to blame. Raheem Moore is absolutely at fault for losing the game against Baltimore. Mike Shanahan is responsible for the Broncos' woes of the early 2000s. Russell Wilson is responsible for the Broncos' woes of the last 2 years.
Obviously, you're not saying solely responsible, but you're saying the main issue.
Yes. Mark, what do you say?
I'm going to say I don't think you think Russell's to blame. I think that you realize it's a bigger picture than that, and it goes back several years and several coaches, and Russell Wilson's not to blame what's going on here. So I'm going to say the Russell Wilson bag is the one that is the lie.
Tank?
I think I'm going to say the same on that one. I think that Russell Wilson had a lot of other issues besides him on the team. So I'm going to agree with Mark on that.
Shout out Toaster. Real quick. Sorry. Shout out
Bidoof.
Toaster. I am wearing the Bidoof shirt.
You are. You're both
I haven't
wrong.
worn this one in a while.
Really?
You're both
okay.
wrong.
Okay.
Again, this is my opinion today. I think Russell Wilson and his inability to play off the same sheet of music as everybody else was a major problem and the biggest reason why they couldn't get anything together going offensively. So, and I do believe that Mike Shanahan, the general manager, put the Broncos in a hole from 2003 to 2007.
Yeah,
so absolutely,
we're in commune there.
Yeah, Raheem Moore does not deserve all the total team effort. It went into overtime. They had a chance. You got Peyton Manning. Come on, there's no way. So
yeah,
I don't think Raheem is the GOAT. All right, Mark's up 1-0.
He's also not the dream.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. This category is called That's Stupid. These are things that I think are stupid.
I like this category already.
Can only imagine.
Professional baseball pitchers getting consideration as an MVP. Baseball players being considered mentally tough. And people who think the best college football team could beat the worst NFL team.
Okay, so I'm assuming that Mark has
who's going first?
Yeah, go ahead.
First?
Tanks first.
I'm going to take a shot at this. I know that there's an unfair advantage happening, but it's okay because I think it's the first thing. Is what you are is the no wait. I think the second thing is what you think is a lie. I think that you don't think that. I think that you think that baseball players can't have to be mentally tough or can be mentally tough. Yes,
Mark.
You're real close, man, but you're a little off base. You are absolutely right that the third thing he thinks is absolutely true. We actually talk about this, and that's why I was laughing. The unfair advantage is that it's just it's a factual statement. The best team of pros will always beat, or the worst team of pros will always beat the best college team. Like, we're all in agreement on that, right? Like, that's just fucking stupid.
There's been very few times in history that would have been questionable, and that was in the 40s.
And you are on the right track because Matt is like not the biggest baseball fan in the world. He doesn't think that baseball players are all that tough. I.e., look at Chris Bryant. MVP its consideration should never go to a pitcher, in Matt's opinion, because they only play 1 out of every 5 games. And that's why he thinks that. It's not really an unfair advantage. I just know that's the way his brain works because it's also the way our father's brain works. So,
yeah, the lie is baseball players are mentally tough, and I'll give them one respect. They do have to be mentally tough in the moment, but you can't just allow someone just to say words to you and get pissed off and start a Donnybrook. That's just dumb.
But what if it's based on truth?
Exactly. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
You both got that one right. I do not think pitchers should be MVPs because number one, like Mark said, they do not play except for every fifth day, and 99.9% of them don't hit. I take Shohei. He's a unicorn. He's out of it. I don't consider him actually a pitcher. He is a well-rounded player. And there's absolutely no way that the best college football team could beat the worst NFL team on any given day. No, not one bit. Because
60 years ago, maybe. Because some of the best teams in football were in college.
Well, sure. And the pro players were getting $5,000 a year and had to work as milkmen in the off seasons.
Exactly. So yeah.
Right.
There was a point in history where that may have been true. That is not the case anymore.
Not now. Absolutely not. All right. This is overrated, underrated. And they might actually... Oh, yeah, there's one underrated on here. Okay. Scottie Pippen is the most overrated NBA superstar of all time. Sauce Gardner is the most overrated defensive player currently in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Rich Tombstone Jackson is the most underrated Broncos defender of all time.
God, this one's easy.
Yeah, I think I get that one. I think the first one's a lie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you're right. The most overrated NBA All-Star of all time is Reggie Miller. I love Reggie, but he's only a five-time All-Star. All right, five-time All-Star and three-time third team All-NBA. Scotty's definitely on the list, but he's not the worst of all time. I thought that one would have tripped you up, guys. That was a good one.
No, that was pretty easy, honestly.
Right.
I didn't think about the Reggie Miller.
I heard you say the Sauce one.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner we've talked about.
Yeah, I think Sauce is absolutely overrated. That man grabs.
I think we all agree with that one.
Velcro
holds Gardner.
Right. Okay, Matt's hot takes. Last category.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Unwritten rules in baseball are all dumb. I would much rather watch women's international soccer than men's international soccer. The current American NBA player is far less tough than the current NBA international player.
Oh, that one's actually a word.
Yeah. It wasn't, and then it was. So, sorry. Go over them one more time because that last one just kind of made my brain do a thing.
Right? Yeah. Unwritten rules in baseball are all dumb.
Okay.
I would much rather watch women's international soccer than men's international soccer. The current American NBA player is far less tough than the current international NBA player.
You want to take a crack at this one first, Frank?
I'm going to think that the NBA one is the lie.
I'm going to agree with Frank on this one. The NBA one is the lie. I feel like
you say unwritten rules are stupid. So
yeah, the first one's you think that one's stupid. I'm not sure the way you think about soccer, but women's soccer is more entertaining than men's soccer. Usually,
it is.
There's more passion and there's less flopping. On that note, flopping is a big problem in the NBA, and it's mostly due to what the Europeans has brought over as part of the game, which is why I think Matt is leaning towards number 3 being the lie. And hello to Rocky and his brother.
Yeah, Rocky and Michael. Michael's home, by the way.
Yeah, hi, buddy.
Fresh. Yep, he's waiting there. Yep, number 2. The lie is number 2. I will only watch American. I will only watch American international soccer equally, and I could care less about the rest of it because it's soccer and it's dumb.
So you think the American NBA players are much tougher than
I said no. European? I think the American NBA player is less tough than the international player, which is a switch from 20 years ago. They all came in, they were all flopping all over the place, and now I think that the international player is much more rounded player, a much tougher player. handles adversity a lot better. As a general
Also
rule.
more durable, less
Yep,
injuries.
and more durable. Yep, less injuries.
Let's play smarter.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll blame strictly all of that on AAU culture. They play 5 games a week and practice once. Internationally, they practice 5 days a week and play once. And they're much more prepared to play in the NBA against men because they play against men when they're
I was going to say that's
right.
one of the bigger things is you can play semi-professionally men's at an earlier age. Like, you're not even allowed to in the United States
Correct.
until you're a year out of school, out of
Right.
high school. So
Right.
yeah, they get
Which
more
is just
time.
a stupid rule.
Yeah.
God, it's such a stupid
It's
rule.
such a pointless rule because of how many times they're like, I mean, for almost every single NBA player, they're one and done.
Well, when David Stern made that deal with the NCAA, it basically made the one and done possible. And it went from having, high school athletes come straight into the NBA like Kobe and Kevin Garnett and some of the best players like LeBron. And now we have to wait a year. And now it's made college worse because those guys, we don't know who any of these guys are until February because we have to watch the whole year to figure it out. It's really ruined both products. That's all David Stern's fault.
My bad.
You flipping
Also,
coins over there or what?
what
What the hell was that?
Yeah, I dropped a little metal piece and it hit my desk.
So yeah, the lie is I would much rather just watch nothing than soccer. But if
Women's
the
soccer
Americans
is
are
more
playing,
entertaining.
I will watch the Americans play regardless. But I could care less about either one. So it's an even split. That's the lie.
Fair.
Mark, you take it 2-1. Well done.
Hey,
good job.
I was close.
You were close.
Yeah.
That's close. All right, let's move on to news and notes in the NFL. Gentlemen, the saga of Courtland Sutton has come to a close. He has been, I guess, given the good treatment. They gave him a better contract-ish, and he's reporting. Mark, what say you about this situation?
Yeah, it's a lot like somebody else we're going to talk about in a little bit, where he showed up to camp. He was never a holdout. If anything, it's what, this is a really interesting new fad that has developed in the last year. I don't remember it really any time before 2023, but they're now doing what seems like hold-ins. And so Cortland showed up to camp on time and was taking it easy, like basically just doing drills and then just hanging out on the sideline. So it wasn't really a holdout, but he wasn't participating at full speed until he got. It's a really interesting way to do it. I think it's smart for both parties. They didn't give him a bag, but they made this year better for him and added some things to his deal. So I think both teams can walk away feeling good about this, and we can get on with playing football here in Denver.
Tank, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to agree for the most part on that. Like he got a better deal in the idea that the compensation feels more earned, I guess, on the Broncos side of it, and then on his side of it, he's finally getting the money that he should have already been making. And I think it is good for both sides on that. And yeah, he took the correct approach. He showed up. He did not go as hard, but honestly,
he was there.
Vets don't need to necessarily go as hard early anyway. No. So it's, it would have been fine either way, but it was a good way of him doing it, saying, hey, I'm here for you guys. Just give me the back pay, basically, is what I'm asking for.
Yeah, and there were some reports out there that were saying that he wanted, top 15 or top 20 wide receiver money, and he's not worth that. Come on. He may have been top 10 in touchdowns or top 5 in touchdowns, but he didn't even crack 1,000 yards receiving. And his reception numbers, he was in the 50s or 60s with number of receptions. So he wasn't even top 20 in number of receptions. He just was there catching a lot of circus touchdowns. So he made a lot of highlight films. But this team's fair. I feel like both teams can, we can just get back to playing football.
What I found really interesting about it is they didn't actually throw him more money. They threw him the opportunity to earn more money. The only thing they did was add $1.5 million in incentives. Yeah. And that seemed to make him happy. if that's all it took, why didn't we do this a month ago?
Right.
Why would we drag this out? But I guess maybe they were quibbling over the number and what the structure of this the deal was. We didn't have any reports as to what they were actually talking about. So maybe it was, the benchmarks he has to hit in order to get them and how they worked out those numbers as opposed to the overall number of the additional incentives. So it's good to have Cortland around for another year at least. He is under contract through 2025. $2 million of his salary is guaranteed this year. All of next year is not guaranteed unless he's on the roster in March. Then he gets that another $2 million guaranteed, and he's owed $13.5 million total on that deal at the end of 2025. So good to have a good veteran voice. We've already said it. The man catches touchdowns. He's going to be a good red zone target for whomever plays quarterback for this team at any point this year. So I like it. I doesn't hurt anything. Didn't make any additional dent in the salary cap. Good job, Broncos. Good job, Court. Let's go play football.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, and we're going to ignore them for this next bit, but gentlemen, camp has begun, and everyone's talking about the quote-unquote quarterback battle and who's going to be number one, who's going to be number two, who's going to stick around. We're not going to talk about any about that. What position group, Tank, and we'll start with you. What position group are you most interested in that's not the quarterback group going into training camp?
Specifically for the Broncos or across the NFL?
No, for the Broncos. This is for the Broncos.
For me, honestly, I think the biggest is we need to know what's going to happen with our offensive line. I think that is the biggest issue we currently have that's still kind of from last year. There was no consistency across the line, for most of the season. There was just people injured and people not knowing their assignments seemingly, and then just bad play sometimes. So I think them kind of becoming a more cohesive unit is the most interesting thing. Is finding out if they're going to be able to do that. If this, what is it, like $80 million line that we have, if they're going to be able to be worth that money. So,
Mark?
I'm looking at a few things. First one, who's going to play opposite number two? Really interested to see what happens at the other corner and then the nickel and slot, outside of that. Obviously, I'm going to always pay attention to the wide receivers just because that's, what I love. And Tim Patrick's back, and Courts seems to be a happy man, and they've got a bunch of really young guys that I'm really interested to see what happens. But for me, the most interesting things are to see what happens in the this offense is going to be predicated on what happens between the hash marks and within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. It's a lot of screen passes, a lot of stuff over the middle of the field, and a lot of the running game. And so you need to see what's going to happen with the backfield. I'm really curious to see what this kid out of Notre Dame does, Audric Estime. Javonte Williams came back to camp much lighter, playing at right around what he played at in college, which is supposed to be helping with his health issue that he had last year, and hopefully just help him, just be more explosive like he was previously in the NFL before he put all that bulk on. Also interested to see what happens at the tight end position because you got to control those hash marks. Greg Dulcich apparently is having a hell of a camp. Everyone there loves Lucas Kroll, and I can't remember the name of the other chap who's there, but they seem to have an interesting combo of three guys, at least two of them. Brandon Kroll is everybody's boo right now, and I
don't think his name's Brandon.
Sorry, Lucas Kroll. Sorry, yeah. Brandon Kroll. Brandon Kroll is our boo.
Yeah, right.
Let it slide.
Like we love that guy.
We love him. But Lucas Kroll is surprising some people and turning some heads. But Greg Dulcich being healthy could change this offense, especially when you have whoever the fuck is going to throw the football. You've got to be able to hit him with an open target over the middle of the field, big body between the hashes, or just a swing pass or a quick outlet. You need to have running backs. You need to have tight ends that can actually do something with the football besides look pretty or be hurt.
Well, you stole my two. I was going to talk about the tight ends, and you covered that pretty well. I am going to take a different tack on the running back group.
Please do.
You've got three guys who are very similar. You've got three hammers. You've got Samaje, you've got Javante, and you've got Estime, and they're all big, powerful backs who run hard. One of them will not be on this team, and it's going to be very interesting to see who that is. I think Jaleel McLaughlin is safe because he brings a whole other dimension to the offense, especially if you can figure out how to actually run north and south instead of east and west. But he is explosive and fun to watch. Javante is now going to be in his second year of recovery from the ACL, which is awesome. This is where you want to be when you're recovering from an ACL to get back. I was saying it all last year. I think he still wasn't ready, but it's football. You come back and you play when you can move forward. And then Samaje. Yeah, he's an excellent pass blocker, can catch the ball out of the backfield, also runs very hard. But those first three guys are very similar, and I think one of them's on the outside looking in, and we'll figure it out after a couple of games. Mark, what do you got?
Well, I think one of them that I think that is going to be safe is Audric Estime, just because he's a rookie. So you have to factor that into it. Plus, they gave one of those undrafted free agent rookies a pretty good chunk of change. And he was a running back as well. So watch out for him, but he's a different body than the three that you're talking about. I imagine they keep probably 5 guys back there, but I don't think, like you said, they're going to keep all 3 hammers. So it'll be interesting to see who the odd man out is. I don't think Estime is on that list, though, because
we don't know because we haven't seen him play against pro talent yet. There's always that, right? When the rubber hits the road and the pads get strapped on, does he flash the way he did in college? Yeah, the man is an absolute physical freak and a specimen, and they keep comparing him to Adonis. Can he play? We don't know. Right? Can he play in the NFL?
I wasn't thinking about it play. I was just thinking financially. He's going to be the cheapest of the 3 options to keep. So that's why I think he is safe, just because he is that, second or third round, as opposed to the other 2 who both have some financial capital associated with him. So that was the only reason. I'm with you on it, but I think he's safe just because he is a rookie on a rookie deal.
See, I think they keep all 5, honestly. But if one was to drop off, unfortunately, I think it'd be Javante, because that'd be the one that was not Sean's choice.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're not keeping all 5 because they're keeping a fullback. It's just not going to happen.
Are they going to just keep Burton? Yeah.
No, Burton plays special teams. He's going to if he's healthy, Burton makes the team because Sean loves a fullback.
Right.
Burton plays not only just fullback, but he plays fullback. Yeah, he is. Burton's making the team, so there's going to be 4, and it might be 3. Yeah. It might just be 3. So it's going to be very interesting to me to see what happens there. Since you already talked about the tight ends, I do want to say, I think, looky here.
Look at
that. And Youngin's in, Youngin's out. And
Youngin's out.
Does the door close? The door closes. Yay!
Door closed, and we are locking the door. Wow. Holy buckets, we have locked the door.
Sweet chicken, we've gone DEFCON 4.
Door is locked.
Door is locked.
Not playing that game this week. I'm locking it.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the linebacker group, specifically the middle linebacking group. I think they wanted Drew Sanders to step up into a role in the middle and play him a little bit on the outside, but that's not going to happen now. So let's see what happens there. They definitely need some depth. Going to have to find a diamond somewhere. So
he's the big question mark, is can Sanders step up? Because I don't think Singleton's going to be any issue. So can Sanders pick up that number 2 on the middle?
Sanders is hurt.
Don't they also I was going to say who they have, because they got a guy who was hurt last year who's coming back off injury that I think they wanted in that position.
Yeah, Sanders tore his Achilles.
No.
Oh, shit, I didn't hear that.
Carry on here. I'm going to.
Yeah, Mark's going to find. Yeah, Mark does have a point. They did pick up a guy, and I don't remember what his name is. But, yeah, they don't have Sanders this year. He's out for the year.
He's out for the year? Oh, damn.
Yeah, Drew Sanders, like a month ago. So he gone. So that would.
Well,
Singleton's a tackling machine. He will
yeah.
make the occasional bonehead mistake, but in the running game, you don't want anybody else in that spot. I'm still shocked that Baltimore let him go, but
Jonas Griffith is there,
Mhm.
and that's the guy I was thinking of. Jonas drafted last year and then got hurt, so he's been stashed and comes back healthier and looking good. You also in that spot have Justin Sternad, Andre Smith, and LaValey Bailey. Who cares about him? But Jonas Griffith was the guy I was thinking about. Sternad's played a few plays with them. They currently have Cody Barton listed as the starter, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Singleton take that, or Jonas Griffith take that over, just because of what he flashed in training camp last year and showed before he got hurt. So they're pretty high on him.
Well, and Sternad's more of a hybrid anyway. He's a linebacker and a safety body.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need, multi-tools like that too, right? So he could step into either side should something happen on the back end with the safety. So there you go. That's what the Goons think about positions. Well done. Let's move on to other news in the NFL. And there's really only one thing to talking about, and that's this silly Jordan Love situation.
Well, no, but didn't the Cowboys just give what's his name a bunch more money again too? Didn't they just give Dak another little?
Did he actually
incentive?
get the contract,
or was that just
got it?
rumored?
I think he's up for one next year.
I thought that I saw some news.
Let's pull that up. I'm gonna look it up right now because I remember hearing something about Dak, but I didn't think they did an actual contract with him yet. They were saying
he's also doing a hold in. That's what it was. He's on the end of his contract, but he is also doing what we're about to talk about. So yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So Jordan Love doing the hold in. There's rumors that even if this goes, they may not even play him till week 7. Tank, break this down for me. Make it make sense.
So he had a really good year last year. Really good. And I understand him desiring have a little more, money because they gave him a prove it deal, basically. I'm kind of on the Packers side a little bit of we just refreshed your contract so that you can prove it. You had a really good season, not an amazing season, a really good season last year. And I think he needs to earn the boost in pay with another really good season this year. It's dangerous though because what are your other options in Green Bay?
I don't think it's gonna last. They do this a lot in training camp, where like if somebody, it used to be with the holdouts, right? Like somebody's holding out, and so the rumor is we're not gonna. And blah blah blah. That happened before. This is just a show. I heard a couple of very interesting interviews on my way home from the ballpark the other night at like 12:30. So like canned ESPN radio was on. So they had like the GM from the Packers and the head coach of the Packers both saying, yeah, he's here. He's in meetings. We're just trying to get the numbers done. The deal's basically done. We're just trying to finish it up. So I'm going to stick closer to that side of it than the rumors going around that something's not done and he's going to hold out. That generally tends to be what happens in these discussions. So he's the next man up to get the bag. I think they give him it in the next couple of days. He'll be fine.
So what do you think the number is, Mark?
A lot more than the three of us are going to make in our lifetimes.
Thank you, Captain Exacto, sailing the Pacific Ocean.
He's probably going to get 60, right? 60 a year. That's the next big number.
There's no way they give him 60.
I mean, I see where you're going with that, and I could see it happening, but I got to look at the Packers and go, after 1 year?
If they do a deal where it's like a 5-year deal, that could end up being a team-friendly deal in 3 years when the next guy comes up, that's just what happens with these quarterbacks. They all just get paid a fucking shit pile full of money, even if they're not very good, i.e. look what they did in Cleveland over and over and over and over and over and over. And what we did with Russell Wilson. And, it just happens. These quarterbacks just get fucking ridiculous amounts of money. We just have to come to grips that he's the next one up. He's going to get the bag. It's just a matter of time.
60 though, I mean, okay, we paid Russ based on his performance in Seattle, not based on what he did here. And that was a decade's worth of work in Seattle. That's what his contract was based on. You got 1 year of work.
Hey man, I'm not signing the checks. I'm just telling you what the market is right now.
That's
Dak's at what, 58 this year? So the next thing would be 60.
Once again, he's had a decade of work to get that money.
You're arguing balls and strikes with the third base umpire at this point, my friend.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm right there with you. But that's what happens. We're talking about monopoly money, and it's absurd. But that's what's going to happen. And we all know
if I was
this.
them, I wouldn't go over 45.
Well, and here's the thing to think about. If they do that, they lose every chance they had of actually doing the thing where you get a rookie, you get him in the first round, you get him on a team-friendly deal for 5 years, and you fill in spots around him and hope that he performs. They're not going to have any of that.
No.
We're not going to have the Patrick Mahomes. We're not going to have the Josh Allen. We're not going to have anything that those guys have ever accomplished because they didn't get the rookie on the field when he was cheap. Now, granted, they had Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I would play the rookie over Aaron Rodgers either, but
yeah, circumstances.
Yeah, sure.
That's what his revamped contract, though, was for Love, because they gave him an updated contract last year heading in. They said, okay, we're going to update your contract to reflect that you're starting now.
He's there. He was ready to participate. His team told him to take a seat so he didn't get hurt before it got done.
I know.
Like this is all Green Bay was going to give him the bag. They're going to give him the bag. This is going to happen.
If it's 60, that's insane.
I'm not saying it's 60. I was just throwing out a number because, Dak's earning 58 this year. So, that would be the next number up. I'm not saying that that's going to be the number. It was just a shot in the dark.
I get what you're saying, but you're not.
But either way, it's going to happen.
Scale. That's the scale. As you go up, you don't go down.
Right. Correct.
And
shrinkflation doesn't work that way. I wish it did, but it doesn't.
He hasn't earned that upside yet. $60 million for 1 year of work. Fuck.
Right. It's
an NBA contract.
It's a market reset. It's not quite as bad as Deshaun, but it's in Deshaun's zip code in terms of resetting the market for performance. Right.
Yeah.
There's going to be some upset GMs and owners out there. Like, well, now we get a guy who plays well for a year under his rookie deal, and now we go into year 4 and he's going to hold out because you did that. You're resetting the market.
They already did it once, so I mean, they've shown that they don't have the spine to have that. They've shown what. I'm not saying they don't have spine, but they've already shown that they're going to give him the money. It's just a matter of time, and it's just what Green Bay does, I think.
And well, sadly, you're right, because what's the other option?
They don't have one.
They don't have anything.
No.
They got rid of the other backup that they had.
He has got 100% of the leverage right now.
Mm-hmm. Because who is the backup there? Anybody know?
It's not Connolly anymore.
Does the Duchess know?
It's not Connolly, and it's not.
Who's your backup quarterback?
What's his face anymore? Bert.
Who's your backup quarterback?
I don't know who it is right now.
Okay. Let's see.
Because it's not Ben Kurt, because he went on to somebody else for a little bit, and I think he's not on a roster right now. And isn't Connolly with the Niners now?
It's Sean Clifford.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Sean Clifford, Michael Pratt, and Jacob Eason are the quarterbacks in order behind Jordan Love.
Jesus.
Jacob
That's
Eason.
Nothing. Yeah.
I mean, you might as well have Easton Stick.
6 pretty good at that point, doesn't it? Those are your options.
No.
60 million or Jacob Eason.
Right? Yeah. No thanks. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what's going to happen. Mark is on record. He's getting 60, and it's going to get done before the season starts. Right?
Oh yeah, it'll get done. Okay. It'll get done before the next time we do a podcast.
No,
honestly, with that expensive though, wouldn't you just like, hey, fuck it, we'll suck for a year and we'll draft next year? $60 million for a 1 year contract? Jesus.
So you're talking about a blue collar town, and all of those people just spent money on Jordan Love jerseys, and you want them to go fucking get a new quarterback?
I know, but isn't that like a kick in the teeth if you're a fan though? Like that he's. I understand he wants to make more money, but he literally just redid his contract for a couple of prove-it years. That was the whole point.
Correct. But Green Bay's they said they're giving him the money. They're just getting the dots and the I's crossed, and
Right.
It's all. We're just putting this together. The contract is.
I wish I was I wish I was an NFL player. Get 1 year in and I get a $60 million contract on it. Fuck yeah.
You'd have to be really good.
Right. Shout out to. Does King Goon? Do we need to block somebody? Zezo.
Oh jeez.
No, the Zezo. Welcome to the Goon Squad. We are goons. We just act like goons. It's a long, drawn-out, complicated story. We are just goons.
It's not
kind of like a hockey goon. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that and move on.
It's like hockey goons.
It's like hockey goons. Yeah, we're meatheads.
This is not Urban Dictionary.
Wrong Twitch stream for me. I mean, stick around. It might be entertained, but we appreciate you checking in.
Oh my god, that's the
best. With your pots and pans in the background.
Is this dude in our Discord?
Bottle of tequila over here.
Is this guy in our Discord chat? Because this is a conversation that we were having yesterday. So
right. That's exactly.
I've been having this conversation with Michaela for like a year and a half now.
Right. Yeah, if you don't know, we got hashtag Goon Squad banned and we can't use it anymore.
What do you mean for some reason? There is definitely a reason.
There's at least two reasons that I found.
Nothing that we did. We're just the Goon Squad. So
right. We're just idiots. It's fine.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. This goes back 6 years. Come on.
We're not perfect.
Right.
We're just dumb.
Yeah, we're just dumb. That's exactly it. All right, let's move on to the final bit of the show, dipshit of the week.
Wait,
well, actually,
what?
no. Sorry, I got all excited.
You got one more person.
So yeah, we got one more thing to do here. A lot of the family got together, watched some baseball yesterday. Mark, why don't you break that down for us?
Yeah, so the family got together for a game. I actually went to 3 games in the last 3 days, which is more baseball I've seen live in a long time. I haven't seen 3 consecutive baseball games, I think, since the last time the Red Sox were in town, which was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's been a while. But point being, Monday night was a lot of fun. A lot of fun things happened. Alex Cora got kicked out of the game, which was a really great time. We also saw some bonus baseball in Monday's game. The game went 12 innings. It was very back and forth. Everyone was scoring in bunches. Classic game, and the Rockies wound up winning, which is fine because they need all the wins they can get when they still don't have 40. The next game was a lot of fun again. It was another super offensive showdown. Randomly, we saw the return of Chris Bryant, who subsequently is still not very good. You saw his glove flash in the field, though. He had a couple of really nice catches out there in right field, which also they moved Jake Cave to left field for the Rockies. Jake Cave is me and Dipshit's favorite Rocky. Just for the simple fact that he is always angry at everything, and he looks like he's about 135 years old. And we started calling him Jacus Cavis because I think he looks like one of the cast members for Gladiator 2 with the beard, with the graying beard. He just looks ancient for a 31-year-old. Anyways, carrying on. So the second game, the Red Sox kind of won. It was a good game. Game 3 started. We met downtown at Wine Coop Brewing. There were 14 of us, a good mix of Red Sox and Rockies fans. We had our 94-year-old grandmother, my mom and dad, and my mom's 3 sisters, one of our cousins, a couple of our cousins. There was the dipshit herself was there. The Duchess was there. The dipshit's mother was there. Matt's lovely wife Sarah was there. It was a really good crew. We had 14 people at the game. It was awesome. Got to see the polar pasta and tried some polar pasta.
How was that? I saw a picture of this. How was it?
So Frank, are you familiar with polar pasta?
I'm not.
Okay, so polar pasta. So the MLB for the second half of the year is doing a culinary thing with our mark, where they're going stadium to stadium to come up with new and exciting food items to try to generate some traffic. This particular item is $8.50. It is called polar pasta, but it is not spaghetti. It is. They start with a little bit of marshmallow fluff in the middle. Then they press soft serve vanilla ice cream with a potato ricer, so it looks like spaghetti. They cover that in strawberry sauce. Serve it with 4 chocolate donut holes, and then garnish it with some mint. So it looks like spaghetti and meatballs, but it's actually just an ice cream sundae. As far as ice cream sundaes go, it was pretty good. For $8.50 at the ballpark, I thought it was going to be a lot more money for what you got. It wasn't like a giant portion, but it was a good sized bowl, and it filled me up. The donuts were a good touch, and the strawberry sauce was nice. And I was definitely surprised by the marshmallow in there that acted kind of like a whipped cream, but it was definitely a nice touch. You can get it at $119 in the stadium if you go to Coors Field, but it's good. Yeah, just started this over this past weekend, so it's brand fucking new. So we did the polar pasta, got into the club seats, and then the game started, and it was holy shit, what a fucking game it was. So I don't know if any of you guys saw this game, but you saw a little bit of everything. The Rockies hit a grand slam. We saw a position player pitching for the Red Sox. In the 9th inning, they had their backup first baseman was throwing fastballs at 48 miles an hour. Milty leans over, is like, "Hey, why is that guy throwing 48?" And I'm like, "That's because they're out of pitchers. They did not come to town with their full complement." For those of you who don't know, Kenley Jansen is the closer for the Red Sox and used to play for the Dodgers, and has had to have his heart restarted in Denver 3 times in the course of his career. So when he saw Denver on the schedule, he decided he was not coming. And we're okay with that, Canley. We are totally okay with you not coming to town, man. We missed you, and the Red Sox definitely missed you because we had, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but our backup first baseman was throwing strikes on the mound. He actually pitched better than I think anybody else. Pavetta had a rough game. But the point is the Rockies got 20 runs in the game. The Red Sox had 7, which was pretty good. It was like watching a Patriots-Broncos game from 1998. Like that kind of score. We saw a benches clearing brawl, and it was after a flyout. And the starter for the Rockies is a pitcher named Cal Quintrell, who is not a bad guy. Actually, we like Cal Quintrell. He's a pretty decent human being. He's not a great pitcher, but I mean, he plays for the Rockies, so who is? So anyway, so he gets the guy to fly out. The player in question is the backup at the Red Sox. His name is Reese McGuire. And so Reese McGuire starts running up the first base after flying out. And Cal Quintrell leans over and says, "Hey, why don't you go jack off in a parking lot, you stupid fuck?" And so that started a benches clearing brawl. The bullpen's empty too. It was really cool. I've never seen that really before live, so that was really neat. Come to find out, and for those of you who are not familiar, Reese McGuire did actually have a misdemeanor on his record from 2019 where he did masturbate in a parking lot, and so got caught. So he fought somebody for calling him on bullshit that he actually is guilty of. So love the support and the teammates, coming after him. It was really cool seeing Jaron Duran. He hit the ball all over the yard. They have a player named Romy Gonzalez, who is kind of a utility infielder, and I want to shoot him to the moon. He is one of the worst base runners I've ever seen, and he is awful to watch field. His first name is Romy, so I started calling him Romy and Michelle's Greek Wedding, and then changed the Romy and Michelle's every time because I didn't realize that wasn't the name of the original movie. I just thought it was Romy and Michelle's Greek Wedding. And so I was like, "Haven't you seen that movie?" Talking to the Duchess, right? I'm like, "Talk to the Duchess," and she's like, "No, I haven't seen that movie. I've seen Romy and Michelle's high school reunion," and I'm like, "Oh."
And my big fat Greek wedding.
So from that point on, Romy and Michelle were doing whatever the fuck. Romeo and Michelle's quinceañera, Romeo and Michelle's Vegas vacation, Romeo and Michelle's trip to the moon. But yeah, he was awful, and it was hard to watch. Jake Cave's great. Good to see Graham's out and about. It was nice and hot, but we were in the shade, and there was a nice cool breeze. A lot of fun at the ballpark. This was my first experience with the new rules live, and the pace went much better with the new rules live. It's much easier to watch on TV, and it's much better to watch in live too. So definitely recommend you not go check out the Rockies because they're a terrible baseball team, but a lot of fun at Coors Field this past 3 days, and I'm exhausted. Holy fuck, am I tired? Because I took 1 day off, and that was because it was a day game. So I've worked double shifts the last 3 days.
Brilliant. Sounds like a great time. Sorry I had to miss it, but
yeah, we missed you, but we get it.
Would have loved to have been there, but work happens. So,
and you were well represented.
Okay,
You
good.
were well represented. Yeah, she cheered loudly.
The queen was in attendance. That's all that needs to happen. So
that's right.
It's beautiful. Reese McGuire. Listen, and this goes back to baseball players not being mentally tough. You can't get pissed off on someone calling you out on something that you did. Like
Right.
you just got to own it and walk back to the dugout, bro. Like you can't.
We were sitting. Yeah, we're sitting at the club going, what started that? And then, we saw the lip reading going on, and we were like, oh, he's just calling him out on dumb shit he already did.
Mm-hmm. So dumb.
Well,
so dumb. Glad you had fun. And, 20 runs in a baseball game, you don't see that very often.
Saw a lot of things that you don't see very often,
Checked a lot of boxes on that baseball trip.
Checked a lot of baseball boxes, that's for sure.
I don't think Kenley would have made much of a difference in that game.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, stay safe. Stay home, buddy. Stay safe. You didn't need to be here.
That's the old Ryan Clark thing.
Yeah, same thing. I don't know if it's the same disorder, but
it's not the same thing. With Kenley, it's his heart. Ryan Clark has sickle cell, and the altitude screwed with him when he played in Pittsburgh, so he couldn't play here.
Either way, it's an altitude thing, and it's a game.
It's a game, right? Yeah. Well,
let's be safe.
Let's stay alive, please. Let's not have any of that shit happen. So good. Glad it went well. Glad everybody had a great time. Pictures looked awesome. And polar ice cream,
polar pasta.
Polar pasta.
I saw a picture. It looked amazing. Looked absolutely amazing. And someone went and got McDonald's.
That also looks good.
Right. All right, let's move on to dipshit of the week. Tank, we'll start with you. What do you got?
Mine's kind of lighthearted, but I'm going to go with EA Sports because they had their big college football drop. First college football game in over a decade at this point, and the servers got absolutely demolished on day one, and they could not catch up, and they had to remove stuff from the game, and they've been dealing with it for a few days, but I'd say that's a pretty qualified dipshit because knowing that this was going to be a big game, they should have probably done some server maintenance heading into it. Because they had 2 million players within the first 3 days. So, it completely destroyed their servers, and they've been trying to fix it since. So,
I have seen a ton of things on this game. It looks super, super cool. The one thing that's really struck me is when you play in Penn State during a whiteout game and they play Mo Bamba, and you can't see anything. It's so loud that all the routes are like this.
Shakes.
People are like, "What the fuck?"
It's very interactive when you run into that.
The memes about kicking on the road are hilarious that have been around.
Oh my god! Right, it's not a joke. The whatever system they put in for the background interference essentially from the home teams it's aggressive. And it will mess with you. No matter how skilled you think you are, it'll mess with you a little bit.
I did go down the rabbit hole of the automatically generated names. Like some of the stuff is Key and Peele level. Like there's a guy named Lester that showed up on somebody's screen. I'm like, what?
It gets worse. It's so bad.
They are funny.
Do better, AI. All right, Mark, what do you got?
For my dipshit of the week, I'm going to go with myself. The reason why is because I'm going to do something fun on camera. I have got a new hot sauce, ladies and gentlemen. I bought myself a little bit of an early birthday present. First off, I do need to make sure that we mention that there is a birthday this weekend.
Oh,
And I'll get to see him on his birthday, but happy early birthday to Frank.
Happy early birthday.
We'll see you on the day, but so this is a symbol from Avatar, which is one of my favorite rock bands. Avatar has invented a hot sauce. It is a blood orange scorpion pepper sauce, hence my name.
that makes
Scorpion
sense.
blood pepper orange. You can see that there's some missing out of the bottle because I have actually poured some in this tiny little cup. And I'm just going to drink this shit.
Well, that seems dumb. All right.
That's really fucking good. So the blood orange, it's a lot like, like a, oh, that's hot.
Yep. There's the
There it
tears.
is.
Yeah.
There it is. Sweating yet?
So it's spicy. It's really, really, really spicy. Because it's, scorpion pepper. But there's that fabulous sweet and citrus from the blood orange that it's almost like the spicy, ooh, and there's a hiccup, moi poi sauce that you can get. Ooh.
Okay, so we're done talking about sports. We're just going to sit here and watch Mark melt.
Right. Did you ever see Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? We're about to watch him go full melted Nazi.
Oh my god! You are right. You are the dipshit. Good job.
Right?
The hiccups are no joke. Ooh, but it's good. It's really good.
Are you now the leader in the clubhouse as being the three-time dipshit of the week? Is that your third?
Third, but I tied with somebody else because we did have a 3-time dipshit.
Who was?
But now I am also I can't remember.
I don't remember either. We'll have to ask MJ. Maybe.
Well, that's because your brain's melting inside your skull,
right?
The fact that I'm able to have a legible conversation at this point in cursive.
You're not flushed yet, so you're okay. All right, good job.
I'm good. It's hot, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. And I'll bring this over the next time so that you guys can try it too. It's delicious.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I just put a tweet in the group chat for the fellas. My dipshit of the week are the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders and their rookie safety Trey Taylor got a hold of a Kermit the Frog doll and dressed it up like Patrick Mahomes.
Oh no!
Complete with hairdo, shirt. And
that's hilarious.
Paraded this thing around on social media. I got news for you, Raiders. There are bears you just don't want to poke. And the best team in the league for the last 5 years and the 2-time defending Super Bowl champion and the team that's looking to three-peat, you don't give that team bulletin board material. You don't talk shit to Michael Jordan. All right, that's just not
what
you
get a natural 70 put on you like the Broncos.
Yeah, this and it's going to be intentional.
Yeah, right.
Like they're going to do it. Yeah, this is going to be a couple of beatdowns, the likes of which we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, that's just dipshit material right there. But it's the Raiders. What else would you expect? So
did you guys see that Mahomes dime at the end of their first training camp to the wide receiver who's been there for 25 seconds?
Yeah.
They didn't get any worse, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
No.
They just have to stay healthy. No, they just
sad as a Broncos fan.
Yeah. And then my honorable mention is Reese McGuire because you just can't get pissed off at shit like that and start a fight because you're mad. You called me out because I had my hand on my junk in a parking lot.
Yeah, a lot less people today would know that you were beaten off in a car if you would have just
right. Yeah, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have known and would have been like,
I wouldn't have known that.
Oh, that guy just flew out to second base and the inning's over. Nope. Now the whole world knows.
Yep. We all Googled Reese McGuire, so there you go.
Right.
Yeah, we all found out that you're a car masturbator. Good job.
Yeah.
Right.
Great job, buddy.
Yeah, the actual quote is, "You jacked off in a
Yeah.
because he was mad because Quantrill showed him
One of
up
the
by
best.
being demonstrative.
Most
Moron.
most of the Red Sox, shills on Twitter are like, do we have to hate Cal Quantrill for calling out a guy for the truth?
Right.
I feel like we can let this one go.
Like, how do you feel as a teammate? Like, I have to go defend this guy because he's getting into somebody's face for that. Like,
Yeah.
there are things that I mean, you have to because you're a teammate, right? But
When
they're in
that's
a
over, do you
race.
go back into the dugout and do you guys give high fives for
Oh,
that?
there's a clubhouse meeting. I'm sure
Yeah.
there was a
Oh yeah,
clubhouse.
there was, but
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah. That's
That
are
was
you
that
gonna
was
shake?
for everyone
You
that's
gonna
like, really? You got caught doing that shit?
Right? You're lucky we're in the mid season because you'd be out of here faster than.
That's the old story about a camping trip, Mark. I don't know if you remember this or not, but Ed looks at me and
Swimmers.
says, Are you going to shake that guy's hand?" And I said, "No."
I know the story.
Yeah.
Swimmers.
Right. Swimmers. All
Swimmers.
right. Final thoughts, pimp the things, throw it around the horn, Tank, take it away.
Not much on thoughts. We'll see. We forgot to mention we brought potentially are bringing a new player to the Nuggets. We'll see if that ends up panning out. It'll be interesting. We'll see how that works. But besides that, yeah, you can catch us next. I think we're doing next week, right? With the nerds. I think.
Well, yeah, I think I can't remember. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
and
out.
then
We'll do something next week.
and we're going to be going back to
Good
the
job.
once a week schedule here on Goons as soon as football season kicks in. And then besides that, yeah, catch us on all the socials, Facebook, I guess Twitch, Twitter still, sort of, um, and TikTok. And then, yeah, you can catch me on all my stuff at Knox Nostalgia Collectibles or Tank Knox.
Mark?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it got posted or when it'll get posted, but we recorded a bit yesterday that's going to come out in a little bit. That is fun. We did
Coming out this weekend.
it's coming out this weekend, I figured. So, but look out on the nerds. We will have a bit that we did. I got to do a bracket with the Duchess, and we covered cartoon villain sidekicks. Really fun stuff, like Shmi and Iago, and it was a really good time. So that'll be coming out here pretty soon. And yeah, that's what I got. I have
Well
fully
done.
recovered, by the way.
You are. You're doing well. I am impressed. Scorpion sauce is no joke. I don't care what you put in it.
It's not mild. I can tell you that much for sure.
Sure.
It is definitely not mild.
In the coming weeks, the king is going to be few and far between. I have a ton of work travel coming up, so there's going to be some weeks where I'm not here. So I'm sure you're going to be in great hands with Tank and my brother, the Idiot, whether it be on My Brother's an Idiot or on Nerds That Know with the lovely Duchess. So look forward to that. I'll pop in when and where I can. Make sure you catch us on all of our social channels. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Boffle Time. You can find the Goon Squad at the Idiot Goons on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok, and on Facebook at My Brother Is an Idiot. You're looking for the black and pink logo. That's the public page, and you can follow us there. We post stuff there quite frequently. My Twitch, Twitter, are at Puffalopagus. My TikTok is at King Goon Smoke. For the absent dipshit, we love you, dipshit.
We love you, dipshit.
For the now again absent Muti, we love you, Muti.
Yeah, he's around somewhere.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Love him too.
We love Muti. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and take care of each other. For Tank and for Mark, my name is Matt. This has been My Brother's an Idiot. We'll see you next time. See ya.